The first time my sister Olivia pushed a hot curling iron into my back. I was 12. I screamed so loud the neighbors called the police. My mother told them I had a tantrum because I wasn't allowed to go out. They left. I didn't. That scar still runs like a lightning bolt beneath my shoulder blade. I remember the burn, the hiss, the smell of my own skin. But more than anything, I remember the silence after. Not concern, not panic, just my mother's voice from the other room. Clean that up before your father gets home, and stop screaming like a stray. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where you are watching this video. My name is Kelsey. I'm 26 now, but I've been burning longer than I've been breathing. Olivia was always the golden one. Captain of the cheer team, blue eyes like frozen lakes. A cruel Barbie with mom's smirk and dad's fists. Minus the subtlety. Every time she hit me, I was told I provoked it. Every time she lied, I was told I must have misunderstood. When she got caught shoplifting, they blamed me for not stopping her. When she threw a chair at me at 14 and it chipped my tooth. Well, Mom said, lighting a cigarette at the dinner table. You do talk back a lot. Dad didn't say anything. He rarely did. Just a nod at Olivia and a headshake at me, as if disappointed that I hadn't ducked. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for what happened the night she branded me with an iron. I had come back home for one weekend. 1. My landlord was doing fumigation, and I couldn't afford a hotel. I hadn't been back since I moved out at 19, after Olivia slammed my head into the bathroom mirror for stealing her shampoo. Mom said the blood was for show. Dad asked if I bled on the floor, but this time I had my guard up. I packed light, kept my head down, said thank you through gritted teeth, and stayed out of Olivia's way. It was going fine until the second night. I was ironing my only decent work shirt in the laundry room when Olivia barged in. Drunk off to wine coolers, and God knows what else. She glared at me like I'd trespassed. Did I say you could touch my iron? It's Mom's iron. She smiled. That knife smile. No, it's mine, like everything else in this house. I'm just finishing, I said, trying to stay calm. You always were a jealous little parasite. She took a step closer, still trying to act like I didn't belong here. I looked down at the shirt. Steam hissed. My heart was beating through my chest. Walk away, Olivia. Wrong words. In one fluid motion, she yanked the cord and slammed the hot iron against my arm. I screamed. The iron clattered to the floor, but the burn god. The burn was already carving through my skin like wildfire. I fell to my knees. She stood over me, triumphant. Footsteps thundered from the hallway. My mother appeared. What the hell happened? She attacked me, Olivia said immediately, pointing at me, her voice calm and rehearsed. I didn't. I choked, my hand still clamped over the sizzling wound. My mother looked at Olivia, then at me, then her mouth twisted. That's what trash gets for existing. You deserve worse. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. My own mother had just watched me get burned and told me I deserved it. My skin blistered, my vision blurred, and in that moment, something inside me didn't just break. Calcified, hardened, solidified into something colder than pain and sharper than hate. I didn't run, I didn't cry. I stood up. I looked at Olivia, her smirking lips. Then I looked at Mom, arms crossed, eyes full of boredom, not regret. I'll be out of your house in 5 minutes, I said. But this time, I'm not running. I'm remembering. Mom scoffed. You think you scare us? No, I said quietly. But soon you'll learn that even a parasite can leave you hollow. I left the shirt behind, but I took something more important, the truth, and I was going to make it hurt. I didn't go to the ER. I went to the pharmacy, paid in cash, wrapped my arm in gauze, in silence. I didn't go to the cops. That wouldn't work. Not where I lived. Not when Mom had friends on the local board. And Dad still ran weekly poker nights with the police chief. But I didn't go back to my apartment either. I went to my friend Rachel's house. Someone who had seen enough of Olivia to know I wasn't being dramatic when I showed up, pale and shaking. She gasped when she saw the burn. Jesus, Kelsey, what the hell? I need your help, I said steady. Not to fix it, to flip it. Over the next few days, Rachel became my lighthouse. We sat in her kitchen, piecing together every memory, every incident, every proof I had ever collected but never used. Old texts where Olivia bragged about slapping the loser straight. A voicemail of my mother laughing, saying, Kelsey always bruises like a peach. It's so easy to get under her skin. And photos, so many photos. Bruises, bite marks, scars, most with time stamps. But it wasn't enough to expose them. I needed to break them, and that required planning. First, I got in touch with someone who could open doors Olivia never thought would close, her boss. Turns out Olivia had landed a lucrative job at an elite PR firm, not because of talent, but because Mom had blackmailed the wife of the CEO 5 years ago, during a school board fight. I had proof of that too. Mom had drunkenly bragged in a group chat. Rachel and I were once part of . So, I booked a fake consultation as a client under a pseudonym, complete with a burner phone and Rachel's apartment as my office address. One submitted my project and requested Olivia personally, said I admired her image, professionalism, and boldness. The meeting was scheduled. Olivia walked in with her sleek blonde ponytail and manicured lies, not recognizing me under the wig and glasses. I kept the conversation short, polite, then handed her a thick envelope. "What's this?" she asked. I smiled. "Proof of who you are when the cameras aren't rolling." She laughed at first until she opened it. Photos, screenshots, audio transcripts. I saw her jaw tighten, her fake composure snapping like a twig in a storm. "Hey, I don't know who you think you are," she hissed. "I'm the girl you burned," I whispered. "And now I'm just returning the heat." She lunged across the table. I stood calmly, pressed a button on my phone. Her boss's assistant, seated at the cafe behind her, had seen and recorded everything. The next morning, Olivia was fired. Not quietly. The company issued a statement about ongoing internal behavioral investigations. Her reputation, pristine and packaged, was now stained. But that was just her. Mom was next. Mom loved two things: her image in the church and the community. Fundraiser gala she organized every spring. That gala was her crown jewel. Press, photos, interviews. So, I bought a dress, smiled at the cameras, and waited until she was up front, giving her usual speech about family values and moral parenting. Then, right as they applauded her for being Mother of the Year, I approached the podium. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I simply handed the host a USB. This was submitted anonymously for tonight's tribute to honesty. A young woman wanted to share her journey. On the screen behind Mom, the footage began. A slideshow of photos, bruises, burn marks, my arm blistered and shaking. Audio of Olivia mocking me. A recording of Mom calling me a born mistake. People began gasping, whispers, then silence. Mom froze, her smile cracking, her voice lost. I leaned close and said, "That's what trash gets for existing, right? Enjoy the applause now." She ran out of the hall. By morning, the gala sponsors had pulled out. Donations dried up. The church board sent her a formal request to step down for reflection. Olivia, now unemployed and disgraced, tried to twist it, tried to post online that I was mentally unstable and jealous, but the internet turned. The evidence spoke louder. Her followers dropped. Brands disassociated. Her landlord, who happened to be a childhood friend of mine, evicted her. Within a week, both Mom and Olivia were jobless, reputationless and panicking. But I wasn't done, because this wasn't just about consequences. It was about legacy. They had scorched mine for years. Now, I would light theirs on fire. I didn't hear from them for 3 weeks. Not a text, not a call, not even a passive-aggressive email. But I heard about them. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where you are watching this video. From neighbors. From mutuals on social media. From a friend who worked at the courthouse. Turns out Mom was trying to sue me for defamation of character. The same character who called me trash, who laughed when I was burned, who said I should have never been born. The lawsuit was thin, based on emotion, not evidence. They couldn't afford lawyers anymore. I could, because unlike them, I had invested in my future while they fed on appearances. I showed up to the pre-hearing in a sharp black suit. Calm. Alone. They walked in looking like ghosts in Sunday clothes. Mom, with her plastic pearls. Olivia in oversized sunglasses to hide the embarrassment she couldn't Photoshop away. Mom started it off. She's mentally unstable. She's always been dramatic. This is her trying to ruin a good family. I stood, no words, just opened the file folder I'd brought. The judge reviewed everything. Audio, photos, hospital bills I paid for out of pocket. Screenshots of threats Olivia had sent me just a year ago. One of them saying, "One more word and I'll make you regret being born." Mom's voice grew quieter. Olivia started crying. The judge dismissed the case on the spot, called it a frivolous attempt to silence the victim. But the best part wasn't the win, it was what came next. Because while they'd been scrambling to restore their image, I'd been working on something far more permanent. See, I never wanted to be like them. I didn't crave attention. I wanted to build something real, something that couldn't be taken. So I launched a program quietly funded by a nonprofit I'd volunteered with years ago. It offered free therapy, housing resources, and legal help for victims of family abuse. Specifically those hurt by sisters, mothers, aunts, the kind of abuse no one talks about because it's wrapped in holiday cards and fake smiles. I named it the Burnback. Subtle. No, effective. You bet. My first public interview aired 6 weeks later. I kept my name anonymous, but the story was unmistakable. The interviewer read one of the quotes I'd given. It started with an iron, but the real fire was inside me all along. The clip went viral. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was true. Thousands of women wrote in. Some knew Olivia. Some had survived mothers like mine, and Olivia, she saw it. She posted a pathetic YouTube video calling me a liar, trying to cry on cue, but backfired. The comments were brutal. You burned your sister and then cried because she healed louder than your screams. She built something. You built scars. Sponsors gone. Followers dropping by the hour. She got blacklisted from every agency in town. Mom tried to get her old job at the community center. They said, "We're fully staffed." The pastor blocked her on Facebook. And me. I moved to a new city, started fresh, but I didn't change my number. I kept it open, just in case. One day Olivia called. Her voice was quiet, broken. "I lost everything," she said. "No," I replied. "You lost everyone. There's a difference." I was just angry. I was just burned. Click. I hung up. I didn't need closure. I was the closure. And as I sat beside the kid, I started mentoring. A teenager with burn marks from a drunk stepfather, I realized something. They tried to burn me alive, but I didn't just survive. I became fireproof, and I turned their ashes into something they could never touch. Something real. Something stronger. Me.